Dwight Newman from the University of Saskatchewan will speak on when the state tells you how to run your church service, analyzing coronavirus guidance documents on religious services.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of this event. My contribution stems from one simple question. Is the coronavirus pandemic setting a precedent for the government to tell churches how to run their worship services? The question arises from guidance documents on worship services issued by state governments during the recent months, particularly of reopening. And being from Canada, I'll refer to similar documents from Canadian provincial governments as well. Obviously, there are compelling health reasons why things are different right now. But even in the context of the pandemic, different governments have made very different choices as to how much they interfere with religious entities. That raises questions on to what degree the interference is necessary and justified versus simply generating a concerning precedent of state overreach. My contribution proceeds based on examining the different guidance documents. I identify some of the more striking interferences in religious services, and I contrast those with more respectful approaches. In terms of greater interference through mandatory provisions, I point to jurisdictions like California, Washington State, and New York State that have regulated, or in California's case, even banned singing. This obviously constrains an important part of many liturgical traditions and what is for many an important means of emotional and whole body engagement in worship. I point to those that impose requirements to maintain registries of attendance at services, as in the District of Columbia and British Columbia. And I point as well to several jurisdictions that impose mandatory rules on sacramental objects, such as the communion cup. I don't doubt that all of these rules have health-related bases, but within principles of separation of church and state and religious autonomy, it's still problematic for the government, even inadvertently, to have its regulatory muzzle on the liturgy or its regulatory hands on the communion cup. There are alternatives. A number of states issued guidance documents, but made clear that these were to provide helpful suggestions and formed part of a dialogue with religious entities. That kind of respect for the freedom of the church, or more broadly, the sphere of jurisdiction of religious entities apart from the state, can work with a balanced and constructive approach to achieve health goals while respecting church-state separation and religious autonomy. The fact that a number of jurisdictions have failed to go that route and simply imposed requirements raises a concerning precedent from the coronavirus pandemic for future interference.